Hello guys, it is Teenage Marvel Fan back with another video, and in today's video, I will be reviewing the latest episode of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which is the animated Guardians of the Galaxy TV series that's on Disney XD, or Disney Channel, whatever it is. I just thought that I might as well review this because I do watch this, and it's actually a pretty good show. They have some good storylines, good characters, and stuff like that. But so this is like the second half of the third season. This episode was on a couple weeks ago, and I'm just getting to reviewing it now because I've been busy the past couple weeks. But before that, the last episode before that was on over a year ago. It was on April of 2018. So that was a long time ago, and it wasn't like in between seasons or anything. Like, it's still the third season. That was just like the mid-season break, which was over a year. And that's insane. But anyway, let's get into the review for the episode titled Black Vortex Part 1. Okay, so when you start off the episode, it goes right where it left off in the last episode, which aired over a year ago. So basically the Guardians are on a ship, and it's about to explode. But then they find this black vortex, and they figure out that if they go in there, then they'll be saved, and they won't explode and die. So then they jump in there, and they think that if they're all holding hands, then they won't get separated. But they're wrong about that, because then they all get separated, and it's like a prison kind of, but it like messes with your mind. So then they're all like put into these different dimensions, and it's like they're all different types of animation, and they go over 2 storylines in each episode. It's like the first 15 minutes and then the second 15 minutes are different storylines. So the first part of this episode features Gamora, and she is put into a like Disney princess fairy tale type thing in a storybook animation. And I really like the way that they're doing this whole animation thing where it's like different for each one. And Gamora, she wakes up and she is looking for her sword and her communicator so she can get back to the Guardians. But then these animals are like, oh, if you just start cleaning, then maybe you'll find it. And obviously she refuses because she's like, I'm the most dangerous woman in the galaxy. I don't clean. People clean up after me. But then, after a while, they convince her to start cleaning. Because these are some crazy animals. And they're, like, obsessed with cleaning and princesses and stuff. But then as they're cleaning, you see that the animals are hiding her sword and communicator. Because these aren't just normal animals. They're evil animals. Like, super messed up animals. Because then Gamora, she figures out that they're hiding them. And then she gets mad at them. So then she grabs her sword and communicator. And she tries to contact the Guardians. But then the animals get mad. And then they turn into like these rabid, evil animals. So then she like goes outside and they all follow her. And then they're all trying to like eat her and stuff. And then she's just slicing them up, slice and dice. And then she realizes that they're not real. So that's why it's okay to slice up the animals. Because you can't make bunny stew with these bunnies. Because they just disappear. So then she fights off a bunch of them. Then after a while, they all combine into this one giant animal. And then she just slices that one up. And then she's all safe and good to go because she completed her task. And then she finds a little twig, which she actually woke up with in her hand, and it's a part of Groot. So then she realizes that she can use that to get out of there. And so she brings it with her, and she draws a door in the air, and it's like a magic twig. So of course it works. So she just draws a door, and then there's a door there. So then she walks through the door, and then we don't see her for the rest of the episode. We hear her, but we don't see her, because then we move on to Drax, who is stuck in a comic book. And I really like the way that they did this, because he's basically like Spider-Man. So when you first see him, he's like working he's a journalist, and he's working, and then you see his boss come out, and his name is J. Jonah Jameson, which is obviously a reference to Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is a journalist, and his boss is J. Jonah Jameson, and then J. Jonah Jameson is like, Drax, go get me those pictures of Drax Man. And apparently Drax Man is like the superhero, and then just like Spider-Man, Drax is Drax Man. So it's like with Spider-Man, Peter Parker basically has to take pictures of himself as Spider-Man, and then Drax ends up doing the same thing. And I like the way that they made the design for Drax Man, because it's actually just the way that Drax looked in the comics, with like the purple cape and outfit and stuff, and it looks pretty cool. And then it also shows his actual comic origin, and then Drax starts hearing this disembodied voice, which is basically like the narrator, and he's explaining things, and then Drax just gets confused because he doesn't understand metaphors or anything like that, and he's like, who are you? Why are you talking to me? How did I get here? And, well, honestly, anybody would be that confused, but it's super confusing for Drax. So then he ends up fighting these criminals, and then he gets a message from Gamora in his comlink, and then she says that he needs to run, but then the narrator is like, no, Drax, don't listen to her. That's your arch enemy, Gamora. You may think she's your friend, but she's not. So then obviously Drax doesn't believe the narrator, because he doesn't know who the narrator is and can't see him or anything. Plus he knows Gamora. So then he starts running, and then he runs into a wall, and in the whole episode, the narrator keeps telling Drax not to break the fourth wall. So then Drax runs into a wall, and then he actually breaks the fourth wall. But then he gets confused again, and then he ends up in a factory where there's like a printing press, and then that's when the narrator reveals it's printing press Paul, or something like that, which is his arch enemy, and basically he prints a bunch of copies of himself, and then Drax has to fight him, but then there's like a huge army versus Drax, and Drax can't hold them off, so then he grabs a pipe, and it's full of ink, so then he sprays all of them, and then they start melting, because they're made of ink, so if they get sprayed with more ink, then they're gonna, well, die. So then the whole room basically starts filling up with ink. So then Drax has to find a way out, and all of the printing press Pauls are dead now. So then that's when Gamora explains the magic twig thing, because Drax has one of them too. So then he draws a boat, and then he gets in the boat, and then he doesn't really have a plan, and then Gamora's like, just draw a door. So then he draws a door, and he just walks through, and then that's pretty much where the episode ends. So this was part 1 of 4 of Black Vortex. I'll explain the next 3 parts in the next 3 reviews, which should be up soon. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video so I can bestow all my Marvel knowledge upon you.